your home for the NFL.
Coming up on this edition of NFL Live, just how hurt is Dwight Freeney and what can the Colts realistically expect to see from him on Super Sunday? The Saints have arrived. The Colts have arrived. And Rex Ryan also arrived Saturday in a way that is probably not what the commissioner had in mind. We'll explain. NFL Live has it all. Well, hi, everybody, and to this edition of NFL Live right here from South Beach as we get you set to be all with us all week long for Super Bowl 44. So glad you are here with us. Trey Wingo, Chris Mortensen is here, Mark Schlereth is here, and, of course, Tom Jackson is here. And, guys, we really have an issue for the Colts to deal with right away, the health of defensive end Dwight Freeney, who, as Mark Schlereth likes to point out, may be the most game-plan-for defensive player in the NFL, dealing with a torn ligament in his right ankle. That, of course, is the result of this play late in the AFC Championship game. It's really hurting his chances of getting on the field. Freeney trying to do everything he can to get ready, but that ligament is a major, major concern right now for the Indianapolis Colts. Chris, what more can you tell us about what the Colts are trying to do and what they're hoping that they'll get out of Dwight Freeney?
Well, while this news is fresh to us, it's a little bit of old news to the Colts. They were aware of this the severity of it last week. And when they say grade 3 sprain, they mean torn ligament, a totally torn ligament. And so, yes, Dwight Freeney's going to do everything, the hyperbaric chamber, all the other therapy you have. He may get shot up for on game day. At best, I think the Colts expect him to be maybe a pass rusher available on nickel downs. That's at best, because there's still a chance he won't play whatsoever. But with you brace this thing up, you get stability, but you lose mobility.
Right.
So they know, as Jim Caldwell told his team, the mantra of this team under Tony Dungy and right now is next man up.
Yeah,
next man up is Raheem Brock and whoever else.
Well, Raheem Brock is a good player. He's just not quite the dynamic threat that we've seen from Dwight Freeney. So the issue then becomes, what exactly from a medical perspective are we dealing with? Here's ESPN's resident medical expert, Dr. Michael Kaplan, explaining
called grade 3 ankle sprain, which is a major insult to his ankle that typically requires 6 to 8 weeks to really get well. A defensive end needs his ligaments to twist and turn and be fast, and they're doing all kinds of novel therapy to help him get through this faster. But all this so-called Star Trek medicine doesn't change the nature of the injury and his limitations, and he can't really be healed by Sunday, and in my opinion, it will limit his performance and quickness.
Star Trek medicine. Star Trek medicine.
Voodoo.
Since his rookie season in 2002, Dwight Freeney, 92 sacks, including 8 in 14 postseason games. That total is the most in the NFL over that span, as are his 38 forced fumbles, 119 tackles for loss. ESPN's injury guru Stefania Bell now on what he can and can't be doing to get him ready.
I have to believe the Colts will be trying to attack Freeney's ankle from every direction in an effort to get him ready by Sunday. The biggest challenges will be addressing the bruising, pain, and swelling that accompany a third-degree ankle sprain. We've already heard that he's got a hyperbaric chamber set up. No doubt he'll be undergoing other therapies like cold therapy, compression, elevation, and minimal weight bearing in an effort to make him more comfortable so he can perform. But at the end of the day, none of these things will make the ligament heal by Sunday. It will simply be a question of whether he'll have enough speed, quickness, and mobility to be able to play. A pretty tough challenge just 6 days away.
Stefania, thanks. Now, including playoffs, the Colts have gone 9-3 since 2002 in games that Freeney's missed. As for the man Freeney will be chasing down Sunday, well, the Saints have done a pretty good job of protecting Drew Brees, who has been sacked just once in New Orleans' first 2 playoff games. Tommy, so much of what Dwight Freeney is as a player is about speed and agility. Is this perhaps the worst kind of injury for a player like that?
I think so. Not what he does, but how he does it. It's all about speed, quickness, the push-off. He loves to spin. He loves the speed rush to the outside. All of those things put added pressure on your ankle. You know, I used to use this spin move when I played. Line, he plants the left foot to eventually get back to the quarterback. But the dynamic move in his repertoire is the spin move. It's that ability to get upfield, get the tackle leaning, get inside of him, and then push through with the right foot. And you saw how quickly he did that right there. All of that's going to put added pressure those stunts designed, one of the games played by the Indianapolis Colts up front to get Dwight Freeney one-on-one, and there's nobody better at getting at the quarterback, at least in this decade, than Dwight Freeney. So, again, I think that if he is not 100%, if he can't do that, that spin move, that speed rush, then Jim Caldwell and company are going to have to make a decision as to what you do. Is it better to have him on the field at 50% or Raheem Brock at 100%?
One of the things about all those videos that you watch as an offensive lineman, what I used to study, who's the first off the ball? Did you see those moves?
Off the ball.
I mean,
every
he
time.
is 2 yards
every time.
deep. Everybody else is on the line of scrimmage. It's amazing the timing he has to time that snap count, to get off the ball and create that pass rush. Now, here's the thing about Dwight Freeney. Most game league, a guy that you have to account for at all times. And as far as that ankle is concerned, if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm not trying to be malicious, but the first thing I'm doing, I'm going to run at the guy, and then I'm going to cut the guy on a 3-step drop. I'm going to trap him later. I mean, I'm going after this guy. I want to test that ankle to see what exactly he has. It's just like a cornerback. If I know a cornerback has a hamstring injury, I'm running 9 routes on that guy.
That's what it is, right?
I'm going to cut the guy right away. I love it.
Let me tell you, hey, I know what I'm doing.
No more games.
I will say this, though. In that video, those games that you saw being played by that frontline unit, that is very different than what the Colts used to do.
Well, that's an excellent question, because you saw the stats, you saw the video, the things he can do. If he's not able to do that, how much does it really hurt what the Colts want to do defensively?
It will hurt them some, because I think that with that production that you talked about comes energy.
Right.
You think about Jared Allen with the Minnesota Vikings.
Absolutely.
It's not just the name, it's the production that he brings to the game. So I think that if you have him out of the lineup, yes, you're going to miss something. But with the aggression that they now play the game with up front, or two ago.
You know, it just pops into your head, too. Who's the happiest man on the planet right now? Left tackle, Jermon Bush, right? He's just like, oh, hallelujah.
Winner.
Thank you.
We have a winner.
Chicken dinner. I don't have to face that guy right now. That's called Beetlejuice. Just rub the Beetlejuice on his head and hope that guy doesn't show up.
But you guys don't think this is a death blow to the defense of the Colts, though?
No, they are so fast, so aggressive. I mean, they hit you before you're ready to be hit. And that's the thing about them. They take the fight to you, and still, you look at this defense different than the last time they were at the Super Bowl. This defense plays with great leverage. They stand people up, they get to the ball carrier, and they're sure tacklers. Tommy, a lost art in this day and age of the National Football League, being able to tackle people. Back when when I played, it was a point of emphasis.
Yeah.
Now nobody practices with pads and stuff. They are a great tackling football team on the defense.
And may not be the time for it, but number 18 is not playing defense.
That is correct.
Number 8, there's nothing wrong with his ankle.
He'll still take snaps. Now, the Saints may try and have something wrong with his ankle before the game's over, but right now it looks pretty good. Hey, now on ESPN.com, does Dwight Freeney's ankle give the Saints a big advantage? Our NFL bloggers tackle all the latest Super Bowl news and analysis. All right, hey, as promised, both teams have arrived. The Saints did something that my friend liked to do when we were driving around. He'd stick out his hand. We were going somewhere and yell, "First!" They were the first ones here. They arrived right around noon, and clearly the hype off the charts for the first visit for the New Orleans Saints in franchise history. Okay? The Saints will be the 5th different NFC team in the last 8 seasons to make its Super Bowl debut. However, the previous 3 all lost. In fact, under the current format, 2002 Bucs are the only NFC team to win its Super Bowl debut. Now this is interesting because you really have a huge difference here. The Saints have an entire city they're dealing with. Everybody's done this for the first time. Colts have been like, man, we just here 3 years ago. Right. Exact same city. Everything's the same. So what's it like for this New Orleans team dealing with that hype?
I think it's different than anything you've dealt with before, which is why the coaches always make those calls to other coaches who have been here. What was your experience? How should I handle the first few days? Because I think that the tendency is you land, the lights are on, everybody is hanging on your every word. Everybody wants to be at a press conference. They want to touch you. They want to engage with you. None of that can be part of your week. And you have to understand the reason that you are here. The party is for everyone else except you.
Right.
You win the game on Sunday, you get to hold on to that for the rest of your life, as Mark has. You lose that game on Sunday. That haunts you for the rest of your life the way it does me.
Right. I didn't come here to lose. That was my perspective. I didn't come here to lose. I came here to play a football game. This is a business trip. And the problem with the Saints right now, and they're going to have to do a great job of controlling this, it's the first time ever. You guys have basically propped up this franchise. This was always wait till next year franchise before. Right. Now it's you. You're saving a city. You're doing all these wonderful things. Listen, you can't let the emotion of that, you can't let that drag you down. You can't get spent from dealing with all those questions and all those emotions, because you have to leave that on a football field. And that's the problem. That's why the Colts have that advantage, because been there, done that.
Here. Yeah, exactly here.
But we know exactly what we're going through. The Saints are going to be every day. They're just going to be inundated with those questions about being the first ever for this franchise.
Just go look at Media Day. How many times do you think they're going to hear the question, what does it mean for the city of New Orleans?
Right.
Absolutely.
Everything it's been through for you guys to be here now. That's a lot, and it can weigh on a team. All right, lots more coming on this edition of NFL Live. The former #1 pick of the second round, Drew Brees, what it means for him to be here and the things that he does so well that make him difficult to defend. And an idea for a Wall Street, a hedge fund on whether or not Brett Favre will return again. Chris Mortensen will weigh in on that. Yes, there may be a little rain, but it is still wonderful down here in South Beach. We're here all week getting you set for Super Bowl 44.
Watch the very best live sports action online with the new and improved espn360.com. Get access to over 1,000 NHL games, including the playoffs and the 2010 Stanley Cup Finals. Get the best NCAA action, including over 300 college football games.
Are you kidding me?
And 300 college basketball games, all live and on demand. Simply choose a package that suits you. To watch the NHL or college sports online this season, simply go to www.espn360.com.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise, for the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit espnamerica.com.
Sign up to the ESPN America newsletter and be the first to know all about the best matchups for the month ahead. Get the latest news from the players and the teams who are making the headlines.
He swings and hits one.
Be the first to view the exclusive offers from our online shop and win lots of prizes in our exclusive competitions and promotions. All from the only channel dedicated to North American sports. Visit espnamerica.com for more details and scheduling information.
Goes back to pass, he pumps. Now he fires over the middle, intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It was intercepted by Tracy Porter. And you've got to be kidding me. I can't believe what I just saw.
Well, that one of 2 interceptions Brett Favre threw in the NFC Championship game. A bunch of turnovers in that contest from Minnesota, and had they had half of those, Mort, as he rejoins us now, they might be here instead of New Orleans, but they did turn. Brett Favre watch again. Look, again, it's early. We'll probably know by August, but what do you think about the possibility of that being his last game?
Well, first of all, you do realize that if the Vikings had won that game, we'd be talking about Dwight Freeney's ankle and Brett Favre's ankle,
right?
Because that ankle obviously is very sore and swollen still. The word was immediately after that game that Brett Favre was highly unlikely to play in 2010. Highly unlikely has gone to unlikely and I believe undecided, and one reason I'm told is that the Vikings teammates have sent him a lot of love in a very short period of time, saying they want him back, and Brad Childress, the head coach, certainly has said, take your time. Those are all the way, that's the way to play this thing, even though there's some people close to Brett believe he's done. I think he's probably back.
Well, again,
we'll see. We'll
find out in August. Okay, this will be a perpetual drama. One thing we're pretty sure of is that Julius Peppers has probably played his last game for the Carolina Panthers. Where might he go in 2010?
Yeah, it's interesting because Jerry Richardson of the Panthers, their owner, is not willing to pay him $21 million to franchise him this year. So in a very restricted market with an uncapped year, hey, Albert Hainsworth and your $41 million guaranteed money, I got news for you. Julius Peppers is going to top that, maybe top that by a lot. Where is he going to go? Hey, it's anybody who wants to bid, and there's going to be a lot of bidders on this guy because this guy is still a dominant player, and he can play. A lot of people think he can play down in a 4-3, up in a 3-4, or down even in a 3-4. So this guy is going to be, I think, the hottest commodity on the free agent market.
Coming off another Pro Bowl season, had double-digit sacks again. Okay, now Rex Ryan and the Jets did not win the AFC Championship game, but he's still somewhat relevant in the Super Bowl conversation, giving the one-fingered salute, we might say, to some Dolphin fans and promising to sweep them at an MMA event here Saturday night. What exactly should he be expecting from the commissioner in terms of retribution for that act?
Well, the league, and I've spoken with the league officials, they're not comparing this incident to Bud Adams, the Tennessee owner, flipping off a lot of people at the stadium and the Buffalo Bills fan, whoever he was flipping off. And so the Jets immediately took action, as did Rex Ryan. They apologized for it. They're going to handle it internally. I believe the team organization may fine him. The league's reviewing it, and I think he could be fined, but it's not going to be anywhere near what Bud Adams had, and they liked that the Jets acted, and Rex apologized right away.
Yeah, Bud was $250,000, and owners are held to a different standard.
Right.
Absolutely. Then there's the issue of quarterback Mark Sanchez. Was it just a routine checkup on his knee when he went down to see Dr. James Andrews?
Yeah, they called it, he might have elective surgery, just a routine type of thing. Well, here's the deal. His left kneecap was injured prior to his junior season at USC, and he elected to play that season. But even as he was going up to the draft, there were some teams and their medical people felt eventually he'd have to have that fixed, and that's the knee, not the one he hurt this year, and he's going to have that knee stabilized, tighten up, so to speak. It's not going to threaten his 2010 season, but it's going to be a more extensive rehab than they're letting this until after the Super Bowl. His high school coach, Bob Johnson, is the National High School Coach of the Year, so he wants to be here for that.
Oh, congratulations to him, and it's a nice gesture by Mark Sanchez. We finally have a new offensive coordinator in Chicago, and it's the guy they wanted all along?
Well, Lovie Smith always, I think, wanted Mike Martz. Remember, Lovie was Mike Martz's defensive coordinator with the Rams, and now Martz is officially and has been named the new offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears. It's an interesting dynamic. Martz is the guy who is credited with developing Kurt Warner. Of course, he's also the guy who benched Kurt Warner, but then he developed Mark Folger into a Pro Bowl figure. He's brilliant, offensive, creative mind, but he's a polarizing figure. And when he was with the Detroit Lions as offensive coordinator, he actually had Cutler rated as the #1 quarterback, but they went ahead and took Ernie Sims, and then this year he criticized Cutler for his body language, and they had met this weekend, so it appears that they've ironed that out. It's going to be an interesting year with the Chicago Bears, Mike Martz and Jay Cutler.
Well, Mike Martz was never afraid to have a turnover, and that's been the one problem for Jay Cutler is throwing those interceptions, especially near the red zone.
A lot of reward and risk with Mike Martz and Jay Cutler.
Swing and a miss or a swing and a home run, one way or the other. Mort, as always, we appreciate you being with us. When we continue here on NFL Live, just what is it about Drew Brees that makes him so tough to defend and makes that offense the #1 unit in the entire NFL in the regular season? Plus, which running game may be more critical come Super Sunday?
NFL.com.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon.
And I'm Tony Kornheiser. We are the crass American hosts of PTI, and we demand that you watch us on ESPN America.
Every day we bicker about the major American sports issues of the day.
Are we getting any extra pay for this?
No.
So why exactly are we doing it?
To bring the world a little closer together.
I prefer cash, thank you.
Catch PTI on ESPN America.
I'm not saying another word until we get paid.
Starward Preferred Guest presents a spectacular winter promotion offering up to 40% off at participating hotels across Europe, Africa, and the Middle East when paying with your MasterCard. Enjoy your stay at Sheraton, 4 Points by Sheraton, W, Aloft, Le Méridien, Westin, the Luxury Collection, and St. Regis. Book now and pay with your MasterCard. More details on spg.com/MasterCardTV.
February on ESPN Classic. We bring you a brand new series featuring the moments that made the Reds one of the most successful clubs in English football history.
And he scores!
In Liverpool Classics. Also in February, the doctor's in the house for his very own birthday bonanza. We give MotoGP's top consultant the special treatment and bring you the races that made him a legend.
Side by side, Valentino Rossi wins the race.
And with Vancouver on everyone's mind, we then take you snowbound with arguably some of the best Winter Olympic moments ever. Making this an unmissable month on ESPN Classic.
Well, it's where the Saints and Colts will be. It's where every team wanted to be. Well, they'll play Super Bowl 44 at the newly named Sun Life Stadium coming up on Sunday. As we continue here on NFL Live, as we get set to take you through this Super Bowl week, you know, one of the things that's been great about the Saints ever since Drew Brees got there has been Drew Brees. Before he got there, the most yards he'd ever thrown in a single season was 3,576 yards. But as you can see, in each of his 4 seasons in New Orleans, he's passed for at least 4,000 yards, including 5,069 in 2008, where he came close to setting a new NFL record. Tommy, as a guy who made a living trying to get to the quarterback, what is it about Drew Brees that makes him so tough?
Well, 3 things. Number one, he's got great command of his offense, the entire offense. So he's been in the game long enough now to understand what he's doing. But physically on the field, almost impossible to get to because of his quick release and then the accuracy afterwards that comes with it. And when you talk about that release, that movement, that ability to get the ball out of his hands, you know, even with a healthy Dwight Freeney, I don't know if they were going to be able to get rid of him. Just give yourself a 1,001, 1,002 count as you watch this 1,001, 1,002. That ball is out before you get to 1,003, and that is a constant in his repertoire, and he is unbelievably accurate. The ball is always where he wants it to be when he lets it go.
Well, unbelievably accurate. Set a new NFL record for completion percentage this year. He was so accurate. So clearly the passing game, Mark, works very well for the New Orleans Saints. What kind of role does the running game need to play for that passing game to be that accurate?
Well, they have to be successful, and they have to be successful on first down. You look at the New Orleans Saints, to me, Sean Payton wants to get you with the big play on first down over the top. So if you run the ball well on first down, everybody has to bite on that play action. 24 big plays, 24 30-plus yard passing plays during the regular season. Guess what? 12 of them on first down. Wow. Half of them on first down. Why? They run the ball well, and then they can execute. Right here, you see the flea flicker, you see the play action. That's what they want to accomplish. That's what they do. They have to run it well on first down. If they don't, all that play action stuff, throw it out the window because nobody's biting on it.
Okay, but then here's the question. They got away from that towards the end of the regular season. In the first 11 games, they averaged 150 yards a game on the ground. Right. In the last 5, only 90. What got in the way there of that formula?
Well, they had a lot of injuries at the running back position. They were shuffling by committee, which
Mike
they
Bell,
did
Pierre
all.
Thomas, Reggie Bush.
They did that all year long, but they had injuries across the board. So a lot of that had to be basically curtailed because of guys that were hurt. So all of a sudden you say, hey, we can't give this guy 17 carries this weekend. We got to limit him to 12, and now we have to put this guy in for a couple. And that's one of the things that happened to them late in the season, and they got out of that offensive rhythm that was so good early.
I will say this, Mark. When you're in a Super Bowl, the clock tends to tick a little faster.
Right.
So if you're not having success running that ball, the tendency will be to go away from it and do what we do best. And what do we do best? Drew Brees downfield.
By the way, in those 11 games, they averaged 37 points a game. In the last 5, they averaged 20.6 points a game. So the running game is critical to what they want to do. Dwight Freeney is critical to what the Colts want to accomplish on Super Sunday.
Steelers are in their house in their frigid January elements.
The 5th coldest game in Lambeau Field.
In the frosty late day air of western Pennsylvania.
Not too many people want to play in this kind of weather, but this is really football season.
NFL on ESPN America.
Watch the very best live sports action online with the new and improved espn360.com. Get access to over 1,000 NHL games, including the playoffs and the 2010 Stanley Cup Finals.
Through the traffic, scores!
Get the best NCAA action, including over 300 college football games.
Are you kidding me?
And 300 college basketball games, all live and on demand. Simply choose a package that suits you. To watch the NHL or college sports online this season, simply go to www.espn360.com.
Everything we're doing is getting you set for the big game, and when Super Sunday rolls around, make sure you tune in. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern, with Boomer, Tommy, and all the guys telling you what to expect. And then after the game, NFL Primetime, 10:30 Eastern, to see who
this
is
special
and
Super
why
Bowl edition of NFL Live.
champions. All right, as we wrap up this edition here of NFL Live, let's run the hurry-up offense, shall we? You guys ready?
Yeah.
Real simple question. If Dwight Freeney is not Dwight Freeney, in other words, he's not playing or he's limited, who is the most important defensive player for the Colts in Super Bowl 44?
To me, it's the guy who's the engine of that Colts defense, and that's Gary Brackett. Gary Brackett, one of the most sure tacklers in this game.
I'm going to take the guy who's replacing Dwight Freeney, Raheem Brock. And I think that it's 6'4", 6'5", 275 pounds. Not a speed guy, more of a power push guy. But with the rest of those guys, I think they'll be okay.
A different kind of player, but can't
That's
be
correct.
effective. Hey, Super Bowl week is off and running. Thanks for watching NFL Live.
Manipulation, deception, illusion.
Barr back